Houthis attacked America's most deadly jet. Here's what happened next. They thought they had the perfect shot. March 22nd, 2025. High above the Red Sea, the sky was crystal clear, visibility flawless. A U.S. Air Force F-16 Fighting Falcon cut through the calm air on what looked like a routine patrol. Standard altitude, steady flight path, nothing out of the ordinary. And then, ping, a sharp warning tone. On the heads-up display, a red light flared. Radar lock. Another blip appeared, then another, and finally the unmistakable signal. Missile launch. Brake! 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 The pilot's instincts took over. The Falcon snapped into a hard roll, flares bursting, countermeasures firing. From the ground below, an infrared-guided surface-to-air missile screamed upward, launched from Houthi-controlled territory in Yemen. Silent, fast, designed to kill. The jet dove, engines roaring as the missile adjusted mid-flight, its seeker head locked on the engine's heat plume. 30 seconds to impact. The pilot hauled the stick into a crushing 9G turn, the aircraft groaning under the strain. Blood drained from his vision, but he stayed locked on the maneuver. Fox 3 defensive, he called out over comms. Behind the jet, a final flare ignited. Bright, hot, confusing. The missile's seeker wavered, lost its lock, and then, boom, it detonated in the sky, too far away to matter. The Falcon survived. But that wasn't the end of the story, because this wasn't just a near miss. This wasn't just an attempted shoot-down. This was bait. Escalation in the Red Sea. For weeks, the Red Sea had been simmering like a powder keg. Commercial tankers rerouted. U.S. destroyers stretched thin across patrol routes. And on the shore, Houthi fighters emboldened by Iranian training and technology grew bolder by the day. Just days earlier, they had scored a propaganda victory, downing a US MQ-9 Reaper drone off Yemen's coast. Within minutes, shaky footage of burning wreckage tumbling into the sea was posted online. For the Houthis, it was a trophy. For their commanders, a reason to push harder. If they could bag a drone, why not a fighter jet? But they miscalculated badly. That lone F-16 patrol wasn't flying blind. It was the visible edge of a far larger ISR net. Intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance assets spread across sea and sky, sniffing out missile launches along Yemen's coast. The pilot didn't know it yet, but the moment his radar lit up, he had just triggered a carefully prepared bait-and-trap operation. And behind the scenes, the rules of engagement had quietly shifted. Washington had authorized a new posture. If enemy radar painted an American jet, it was hostile. If a missile launched, retaliation would be automatic. That night, the Houthis made their biggest mistake, firing, staying visible, just long enough to be tracked, and assuming there would be no immediate price. Multiple missile locks. As the F-16 leveled out, the cockpit screamed again. His radar warning receiver lit up with multiple contacts. Not one missile, several. The system identified them. SA-6 surface-to-air missiles. Old Soviet-era designs, yes, but modified by Iran into the Sayyad class. Clumsy to set up, easy to expose, but when locked on, still lethal. The pilot rammed the throttle forward. Afterburners flared, painting the sky with a heat signature that screamed target. Countermeasures burst in waves, flares streaking behind like fireballs. One missile sliced past so close it rattled the canopy. A near kill by less than 200 feet. But the Houthis had no idea their every move was being watched from above. At nearly 60,000 feet, a Navy MQ-4C Triton drone loitered in wide surveillance loops. It wasn't armed. It didn't need to be. Its sensors were eyes in the sky, recording everything. Missile plumes, radar spikes, thermal footprints. All of it streamed back in real time to the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. In under 2 minutes, the U.S. had everything it needed. Launch site coordinates, emitter signatures, heat trails. Retaliation wasn't a question anymore. It was already in motion. The retaliation begins back aboard the Eisenhower. The pilot's distress calls weren't just received. They were recorded, analyzed, and translated into targeting data. Within minutes, the retaliation clock had started. Nearby, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer opened its VLS cells, vertical launch systems, each one packed with precision-guided Tomahawk cruise missiles. Target Alpha, fire 1, then 2, then 4. The missiles roared into the night sky, curving east toward Yemen's coast, each one locked onto confirmed targets: a missile launcher, a radar truck, a command hub, and an ammo depot identified by Triton's infrared scans. And this was just phase 1. Carrier air wing strikes from the deck of the USS Harry S. Truman. The next phase launched. Steam hissed across the flight deck as ordnance crews strapped GBU-38J DAM bombs and AGM-88 HARM missiles onto waiting F/A-18 Super Hornets. Moments later, an E-2D Hawkeye lifted into the sky, its rotating dish scanning every inch of airspace. Then came the EA-18G Growlers, electronic warfare aircraft armed with pods to jam enemy radars and communications. Their job: blind the Houthis before the strike hit. Finally, the Hornets roared down the deck and into the night, hardpoints loaded. Their mission clear: destroy everything tied to the missile launch. Precision strikes. At 2:12 a.m., the first Tomahawk hit its target. The launcher site vanished in a fireball, secondary explosions confirming a stockpile of ammunition. 2 minutes later, a radar truck lit up as a HARM missile homed in on its final transmission. Then the Hornets arrived. From 25,000 feet, JDAMs dropped silent and precise, smashing into a hillside bunker suspected to be a command post. A second bomb collapsed it entirely. The final target, an ammo depot, went up in a cascade of explosions, glowing for minutes after the strike. Throughout the operation, the Growlers jammed every frequency, scrambled radar systems, and spoofed communications. For the Houthis, chaos reigned. Screens went blank, radars went silent, and every attempt at response was crushed. Message delivered. The entire retaliation unfolded in layers: missiles, electronic warfare, carrier aircraft. By the end, the missile site was gone, the radars silenced, and the command network fractured. Back in the F-16 cockpit, the pilot listened to calm radio chatter. Target neutralized, strike successful, RTB. The sky was quiet again, but the silence this time was earned. The message was clear: fire at a U.S. fighter, and the retaliation won't be another missile. It will be everything. Strategic consequences. This was more than a tactical victory. It was a strategic message to the Houthis, to Iran, and to every military watching around the world. Warfare is about perception. The Houthis didn't just lose equipment, they lost face. Their radars and launchers were vaporized, their comms jammed, and their confidence shattered. Now every radar operator along the Yemeni coast will hesitate before switching on, knowing it could mark them for destruction, and the world took note. China, Russia, Iran, they all watched. The lesson was simple: you don't challenge U.S. air power without expecting overwhelming retaliation. Aftermath: redefining the battlefield. In the hours after the strike, U.S. carriers shifted into combat air patrol mode, armed jets circling 24/7, scanning, ready to respond instantly. The Houthis hadn't just lost hardware, they'd lost momentum. Their playbook was shredded. Modern warfare is fast, precise, and unforgiving. The moment that missile was fired, the U.S. wasn't defending anymore. It was redefining the battlefield mid-conflict, turning a single hostile act into the justification for a layered strike package. One missile, one message. The Houthis thought they could treat a U.S. fighter like a slow drone. They thought wrong. That night, they learned that one failed missile shot can trigger a storm of precision and steel. And now the question shifts to you. If you were in command that night, would you have stopped after neutralizing the launcher, or wiped out every radar along the coast? Be honest, be strategic. Share your thoughts in the comments. We read everyone. And while you're here, like this video if it gave you chills or insight into modern air combat. Subscribe to stay ahead of the next incident before it makes headlines. Hit the notification bell so you're first in when the next mission drops.